Christ came on this earth to teach us that we are the sons of God. We are part of the divine hierarchy. We are. If we but acknowledge it. I ask you now, is my work complete for these people? At this time. That is true. I love them very much. That's what I want, as you did. What was the reason for the difficulty you had with a group of people you formed in the 30s? Can you give me detail on this? In your book on discipleship in the New Age.
Intellect.
Pardon?
Intellect did not. Intellect divided from love.
All right.
Intellect divided love.
That is
Buddhi.
It put great strain on your body and great sadness, didn't it not?
It only matters in the formation of time.
That's true. I send now to you, my friend, the love that is in my heart and thanksgiving for the depth and meaning of the teaching you have shared with all of us. We will go and put that knowledge to work. Peace. Thank you.
Daylight on the day.
Breathe in. And separate.
It's kind of heavy, isn't it?
It was very light.
I like to have some water in my way.
One word. Intellect causes separation. The intellect of man or woman without love creates a false God, a feeling of false divinity. And you then strive for power is loving. Be honest with your own self. There is nothing to fear. We are all one. We've seen it, unfortunately, in the churches, the striving for power, for manipulation, for control of man or woman. We've seen it in the governments, trying to dominate, to restrict man's freedom. We are all a part of the divine love of God. Let us work in this way. Let us help one another. I have much struggle, very deep struggle, with the writings of D.K. I persisted. I have every volume that has been published by her and her own personal writing. But out of that struggle I went through came a love, a respect, a understanding. You see, it's not in criticism, but it is, I had to learn to go deeper. I had to learn to break away from all of the teaching I have been trained in, the methodical, step-by-step approach to things. We go from A to B to C to D. Cause and effect relationship. We call logical thinking. Intuitive thinking is not that. When you deal intuitively, when you deal with that, you suddenly go from here and you're here. That's why I ask each one of you to take a deep breath and move ahead 1 year. Look at yourself 1 year from now. Lay that ground. Put the good seeds in. Then you hear, back into your time, then you've got the program here that you work towards. You have nothing to fear. You know your path. You fulfill it. You are that path. That's what I came here to share with you. Not just teaching you how to wiggle a crystal and get people to burp and release all sorts of strange angers or fears. Much deeper. To help each one of us come closer to God. To be one with Him. To love Him. Because from that, you then can help more deeply your fellow man.
When we started all this, we should say a prayer or a thought, what we wished that you should give us. And I prayed to God, give me a tool to bring in light in the life of my patients.
You see, we have it now.
And then the first word was?
Right. You can do it with a planet. This opens up wonderful opportunities for you're putting all of what you want in therapy in the plant, then you give it as a gift. You have little small plants, and you can give it to them. But we have the knowledge of what we are doing now. I'll be making special protective devices for you. I want, please, all of us to work together now. We'll work up real research programs. And I'll do my best to do an analysis on it. You write it to me. We'll work with Kurt. I want to see us have our own newsletter here, your newsletter. I'll write an article each time for you. I'll take your information and I'll feature it also in our newsletter. We have it also then in Germany. We start then the international sharing of this type of information. When the time is right, we will go to Russia and share this knowledge. But not until we've gotten a careful ground on your knowledge and what we are doing. I offered this, you see, for almost 10 years to the medical profession. Now, I give it to you. I made the first step with all strength I had. But I saw I would have an impossible fight. Because the way you have to approach putting things out medically, we would never be given the space or the privilege of getting the experimental data that we need. I need data. That means I need case history recordings. We will work up a protocol of recording the data, the events, and the way we will record and present the data, so that it can be then analyzed statistically. I can turn it into graphical representation, which is amendable to technical publication. I'm going to try publishing this graph for the effect of a group meditation, what it does to a group of people when they meditate in circle, have a religious ceremony, and using the crystals as a measuring tool. This opens up more and more chance to observe these forces and quantitate them. One of the key things that we're going at is going to try to heal the forests in Germany. And there's a group of people now with their equipment, crystals, and omega-5 to do this type of healing. To remove the negative forces, the blight, the acid rain, the conditions that are destroying these forests. Not with chemical agents, but with energy of love. You feel it too. Are you hot?
Am I hot? Marcel, if I may say, there was one thing that came to me that I couldn't get out.
I know.
It was about Buddhi.
I heard the word Buddhi, I know.
Buddhi is intellect and love merged.
Right.
That was what I
was waiting for that to come.
Yeah.
The linking
Buddhi. Ja, intellect og kærlighed. Samsmægtet. That was one.
Now I open myself to you and anything that you want to ask questions on.
Brain, if both halves of the brain is working coherently, what the brain waves are?
Well, the brainwave activity, I've measured myself with the brain meters made in England, and I find that both the left and the right hemispheres are both cohering together, linking almost the same electrical activity. And the key, I think, I've learned is breath. is a simultaneous breath control, being able to breathe in and out and keep the volume of air in both nostrils uniform. As I draw in, I visualize the volume, because that is the food for the brain. And then when you learn to breathe, not alternately, but on a uniform basis, you link these two hemispheres. What I found also, when you take the six-sided crystal and you put it into your hand, the six-sided crystal will lock a high alpha wave activity that you have normally in sleep or in deep meditation. I'll go right into that with my eyes open, so I can function with high alpha with the crystal in my hand. Take the crystal off, and the alpha drops right down to normal. Put it back in my hand, I'm in a high alpha.
When you go up to 8 and 12, what happens?
Pardon?
When you go up to 8 and 12 facets, what happens?
When I go, 8 is fine, it just creeps, but when I get up to 12 and 13 like this, we're moving at a rate of vibration that pulls you right into the higher realms of vibration. That's why your body is burning as high as it is right now. Your whole basal metabolism accelerates enormously. If you had a pulse meter, you were to measure the pulse in your heart, you see it beating exceedingly rapid. You would see the rate of respiration, the amount of air you're taking, slowing down. Measure your pulse now. And it's fine. Yeah.
Now.
Yeah. But when you get to certain of this, you get into levels that medically they would look at and say that man or woman is passing out, but you're going into an altered state of consciousness.
Doesn't it fall?
What?
Doesn't it fall?
No, it doesn't. It doesn't affect you. It's just that you have to adjust. That's what you were doing. You're having to adjust your breathing.
Yeah.
Because as that vibration increases, it's a pressure, so you have to adjust the breathing to build it, and that's where the heat comes in.
I felt I was hyperventilating.
You were. See, I'm used to this now because I've worked with it for quite a period of time. I take the energy in and I just breathe quietly. I just go the other direction. I slow my breathing down. And I get down to slower and slower rates of breathing until I'm practically not breathing.
That's what happens in meditation.
That is meditation, you see. What I find, yes.
I was going into town in the break, that's why I came too late.
All right.
And on the way back I had a thought that there's something that's missing. Because when you're standing with a crystal in your hand and want to heal, the most effective way to do it is to put your own crystal inside the physical crystal you stand with in your hand. Take the crystal from in here, project it out into the crystal.
Well, you do that with the outgoing breath.
Yeah, but to know, I think it's better when you know you're doing it, because then it works more effective.
I know I am doing that. When I take the crystal with the equipment I have, put it in a measuring equipment, I can measure then the charge that is in the crystal. I know I am in the crystal. So the crystal, the physical crystal, and myself become one. And I have a numerical value for that energy. And once I lock into the crystal, which means I enter this crystal, it is dynamic. As my energy goes up, this will go up just parallel with it. I tried to show you with everything I had the dowsing meters and things like that, but the physical equipment I have, the Omega-5, you could put that in and you can see it on an oscilloscope. You can measure it on resistance meters. And it is a real measurable value of the energy that is in here. And I can't go any further without that equipment which I have right now. Anything else that you want to bring up, you?
The practical question of healing. We have seen healing now on the thymus, on the wicked thymus. We also saw a knee healed that way.
Right.
But there might be cases where you want to go directly to the affected part of the body.
There is pain.
If there's pain, for instance.
Right.
And if there's arthritis in the fingers or things like that.
Look. You're suffering from bursitis now. You have a very bad case of bursitis. It's right here. Do you have it, or?
There's somebody who has a pain in her.
But she had some pain with that.
Really?
She came here to get rid of it.
That's better.
That's it.
Thank you. We are dropping things right at the lip.
We are losing control.
I know. Good trouble. You do what you do, bumpage?
No, I have moved from stone.
Oh, you did. You got a sore.
Yeah.
All right. You want to get rid of it?
No.
All right, then I won't touch it.
Did you get that with it?
Yes.
She said no. I wasn't going to touch it then.
You asked me or I have get anything to it.
Oh, no. All right. You can do local treatment without going through the thymus. That was your question. A number of people came to me. I'll show you. Same principle. Let's come over here. Here's the elbow, I think. Now, what I do, I bypass the preliminary questioning, all like that, and now I sense with this finger, this hand, information is fed into here after I've charged the crystal, erased it and charged it. Now, where does the elbow hurt you? As I do this, I go with my mind into the area and ask her body what I am to do. You see, I'm flexing the tissue. There. Finished. I draw my breath in. Let my breath out. Now the program is in here. Now we work. Hand goes here. Go in here. You should be able to feel that now. No breathing. Now I let my breath out. I pull. I inject. Balance. Closing. No breathing now. Now, flex. Is that better? Now, try it again. Move it. tennis elbows. You know what a tennis elbow is, or the bursitis of a shoulder. We had a doctor's meeting. The doctor came in, bent over like this. I said, what's wrong? I got a bursitis in my shoulder and a tennis elbow. I really threw my arm out. He said, you want to help? And so I went over and wiggled the crystal a bit. I said, the pain should be gone now. Arm dropped, like this. It's gone. He said, how did you do it? Normally it's a tranquilizer or a drug. What you happen there, you put too much of a strain, you put pressure on the muscle, which is also piezoelectric, and you put a charge. Gets locked into that area, and it keeps the muscles under tension. So it creates pain. Just break the tension, you're okay. Now, you've seen a local treatment. What else do you want?
Would you do it in the same way, say, if you've got eczema, rash of the skin or something like that, which is very common?
If it's local, yes, you do that.
Yeah.
Now, there was a remark made, when we were discussing candida, and also herpes. Different type of inflammations that the female's organ has. To treat that, I recommend the following. That is to put the treatment, the normal medication, into the crystal, and then inject it into water, and then do a douche, an irrigation of that area. The candidas are very resistant fungi. I would work with, pardon?
No, I just asked, what is that, and we translate it.
And so with that, I would work always initially through the thymus to release the source that has caused the difficulty. Which means normally there is some emotional content with that. Get the emotions out, then go to the local area and treat. Eczema, surface skin, surface rashes. Remove the stress here and then go, and when you have a rash here, just like this, out, pull the tension, then you feed. So you pull, push. Yin, yang. Always balance. And in 99% of the cases, the pain goes within 24 hours, the rash is gone. Any more questions?
We talked about in Wednesday,
The what?
Wednesday we talked about that I had a psychic block of some kind Wednesday evening. You think you can take that?
See my finger? You ask for it, I will give it to you.
Yes, I'm good. Evening. Part of it.
Let us look at your body first. He's a nice big body, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's another teddy bear.
You want to bring him with you?
I would
got a
love.
little bag.
All right. A lot of repressed feeling in your very active mind, but struggles to release your ideas out to other people. It's hard for you to communicate at times your inner feelings.
Inner feelings.
I said your inner feelings.
Yeah, sure.
Intellectually, you have no trouble, but the feeling body has much struggle. So I'm going to work now just with my breath on your feeling body. Now watch. All right, here it is. Now breathe in. Deep. Come on. Further. Opens up a bit. Now breathe in again. Breathe in. And she's breathing. Breathe in. You beat me to it. Just take a look at all of that.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. So, you see the difference? You feel better, don't you?
Yeah. Something happens here.
That's right. I had a big block I had to tear open. I'm perspiring now. But check them once more. Yeah, it's good. Now we can work on it. Look, another please important point. I'm sorry I just keep having to go on and on and on.
You won't get it back this week.
No. When you detect a block like this, Kurt, you don't treat with the crystal. What the principle is and what I do is the following. I have him breathe in. As he breathes in, I visualize his heart and I pulse a cone of light into his heart, and he then lets his breath out. And when he does that, I get a number of times, suddenly the block opens and the whole chest starts to open. And you can breathe better. As soon as you can breathe better, then we can work. So it's important that you use these rods at times, yes.
I don't remember that you check each chakra to keep them functioning well.
That's right. That's another more discreet thing. But here I've just taken the overall energy envelope. In this case it was blocked. So it's open. I can look at the individual chakra. What we do, we look now for two of them. Solar plexus, and let's see what the energy is in the solar plexus. It's weak. Heart. Way out now. See the difference? Throat, which is communication. These are the chakras. Way up. Base chakra. Wow. Spleen. Very weak. Now, breathe in. Go to your spleen area. Visualize light and project it into that area with a pulse breath. And do it. There it is. A little bit more. There's only one side. Do it again. Put both hemispheres in and release your breath. There you go. You feel the change there. Now, the base chakra. Breathe in. Put a cone of light in the base of your spine. Create it with your mind, and now pulse your breath and let go. That's all that's required. It's done. You're going to feel yourself less tired, more vital. You will digest your food better now.
Why did you not open other people's chakras before you treat, before you give them with a crystal?
Why? Because I wanted to do one thing at a time.
Yes, but you said before that you couldn't use the crystal if the chakras was blocked.
Closed, yes. I gave you one thing, about opening yourself up. I told you about breathing. Remember?
Yeah.
Deep breathing. And that's what he's doing. He's opening his chakras.
Yeah. But you haven't tried for any of other people here?
Well, I did it with one.
Okay.
Is that enough? You've got it on videotape, my dear. You've got this big teddy bear. Now, we got you ready to go. What is it that really you want to correct now in you?
I have a block against visualizing and things like that.
Visualizing and things like that.
Yeah.
Pretty girls, can you visualize a pretty girl?
No?
Not possible. Not a pretty girl?
I can dream about it. That's okay.
You can count them, you can get them,
But I can't sit down and visualize the picture.
how long has that been? All your life?
I can't remember.
All right. This is a new one to me. What do I do with a man like you now to help you to visualize? What would be, can we correct that? What do you think is the root source of your trouble?
The main thing that comes to my mind is some energy blocks that I've been waiting for some time.
Like what?
That goes back to when I was 2 months old.
Right.
Before I was born.
Before you were born,
Yeah.
before birth.
Yeah.
Well, what was that?
I went back there and I had a thought that my mother wanted an abortion at that time.
All right.
And then I went and asked her, and she told me that she had taken a lot of pills at that time and stayed into hospital most of her pregnancy.
Oh no. Yeah, during your period of
Yeah. And that wasn't a good thing. But I don't know if that's
Let's try.
a heavy one.
that is a heavy one. Now, let's see what will happen. Are you willing to release that now?
Yes.
The effect in you from being in your mother during a period of time where she really did not want to have you.
No, she said that was not so much the point. She didn't want to live herself.
She wanted to commit suicide.
That's fine.
Yeah, but that's even it's equally as bad.
Yeah, I would
Same.
go along.
Yeah, no. All right. Because if she died, you would die too.
Sure.
I get a total confirmation on the crystal. And it's sticking like it was frozen. Let's pray together now. Dear Lord, I ask your help, your counsel, and your guidance to serve this man for his good, to help him to release these thought forms these energies which have impeded his growth and his development. Breathe in and out. All of you can help now. Oh yeah. Can you feel that? Just going in like needles. Now, breathe in and out. Breathe in and out. Tremendous heat coming out of it now. Breathe in and out. Breathe in and out. Breathe in and out. Breathe in. Hold your breath. Go with your mind, your heart, your spirit to before you were born. Create a clear image of the patterns of your mother's feelings and thoughts. Look at them now and release them. Let them out. 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 Breathe in and out. There it is. You're breathing. Breathe in. Bring yourself back into balance and light and love. Peace be to you. Now go through the birth into this world free from these negative thoughts. Feel your body whole, capable of visualization and functioning in a right and proper way. Now, above all, send love to your mother. Forgive her for any feelings that you may have had. Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. Now, breathe deep. Activate all of the cells of your brain with oxygen and let your breath out. And feel your body now becoming calm, peaceful, and joyful. Here's a change. There's the new breathing. Look. Hear it? I know. See the change in your breathing now? You were restricted in your breathing. Now the breathing is deep, sonorous, and a beautiful tone. There she comes. You're free. very much he is.
One more question, forgive me for going on. You said that when you were tuning the crystal, you did it by the means of your thumb.
Right.
And you get different vibrations and different frequencies of vibration. Of,
Right.
Yeah.
See, crystal's clean now. When he got to his mother, it stuck like it was frozen. And then when he started to go back, I couldn't move my finger. It was just locked in place. So I know I was hitting home. I didn't know what to do at first. But as soon as it started to open, then you go in. It's not easy. You are free.
Right.
Send your mother a card. A card stating that you love her. You speak from the heart. You release all negative thought forms by an outward expression of love. And so what that does is clears everything out from you. And you'll watch, you will come together. Within a week or so, there'll be a whole new life in you. People around here. Yeah. Now, have you had enough? No, but I think we should have a little meditation now. Kurt, would you like to say a few words? And then we can have a little meditation together.
Do you want me to say in English or in Danish?
It's easy, whatever's easier for people, probably English.
Jeg vil gerne sige tak for de her 3 dage til Marcel, til Mary og til jer. Fordi I har været med til at skabe den atmosfære, der er her. Og ja, jeg synes, at det er godt at sige det. Jeg er følt helt op. Men hovedet vil gerne...
Må jeg pause